What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives, and sitting before us is a car that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is the all-new 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ, and this is a ground-up new vehicle for Cadillac. It has nothing in common with the gas-powered Escalade. And by the way, they still are producing a gas-powered Escalade. This is a ground-up vehicle, and I'm going to show you all of the features this vehicle has to offer. Starting on the exterior, we'll then make our way under the hood or the frunk. We'll check out the storage space, also all three rows of seating. We'll check out all the technology in this car. This might be a long video, so hang on to your hats. It's freezing out. It just snowed, but hey, we have an Escalade IQ right in front of us. So let's get straight into it here with the front. Now, also, I wanted to mention before we get into the features, we're going to be driving this Escalade IQ 2 in a separate video. So make sure you check that out. I'll provide a link to you at the end of this video, or just check out my channel, Ty Drives, for more. But right up front, the name of the game is lighting. There is tons and tons of lighting up here, including a fully illuminated grille with the Cadillac crest. We also have lots of glossy black, since this is the Sport 2 trimmable. So a lot more blacked out elements than if you were to get a luxury trim. We also have our front-facing camera and front radar. And we also have these little guys over here for our night vision. Yes, this car has night vision. And there's also a little release right here to open up your front trunk, and we'll get into that in just a minute. We also have parking sensors, of course, spanning the front of the bumper. And we have this beautiful color, kind of a silver metallic, but the metallic flakes kind of turn into this beige or tan color. It's called Flare Metallic. And let's take a look at our headlights. Now, the Sport 2 actually gives you an upgraded headlight system over the Level 1 model. So we have full LED lights, full length all the way down here. And of course, you know, as I said before, full LED. So we have your turn signals, daytime running lights, your high and low beams, and your cornering illumination is all LED powered. Looks awesome when it's all illuminated. Now, if we take a look at the side, we notice these are some pretty big wheels, but did you know that these are 24-inch wheels? 275/50 tires. These are just monsters, these tires. So huge wheel setup, huge tires, and all of our kind of surroundings for the wheels are body color just to give it a more sleek appearance. We have a giant hood. I mean, this hood goes well above the top of my stomach, and I'm 5'10", so this is just a mammoth car. To give you a reference, to step back a little bit, it is somewhere in between the length of a normal Escalade and an Escalade ESV, so kind of right in between those two. We have a nice big giant turn signal here with some kind of blacked out chrome accents. Massive mirrors with glossy black surrounding the windows, and if we flip around, we can see we have cameras. They're also power folding, heated, and have blind spot warning in them. Our door handles are illuminated and also have smart key entry with this little button here. They're also powered doors, which I'll show you in just a second. We have fixed running boards, so power running boards are not available on the IQ. And I'm sure from the beginning of the video, you've been wondering, is this Escalade IQ broken? Or maybe you already know that this car has rear wheel steering, and there's actually an adjustment to put it in arrival mode, which this car is in right now. Actually makes the rear axle turn at the same angle as the front. Gives you this kind of outlandish look, and you can kind of crab walk, I guess you could say, across. Pretty neat. And I'm sure you guys have seen videos of that, so I'll leave you to look up that in just a minute. So here we have our charging door. You just give it a little tap and it is powered opening. And of course we have our regular outlet, and then we can undo this for fast charging. We'll get into charging times and battery capacity in just a minute. And just behind the charging door, you can see we have kind of the main segmentation of lighting back here. And that'll have your LED tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals integrated into it. But that's not it for the lighting back here. There's actually a little hidden part right up here which you wouldn't really notice unless you see it on. As far as badging back here, we of course have the Escalade IQ, the Cadillac Crest, and 2 cameras, one for your reversing camera and the other for your camera mirror. And we also have our 1000 E4 badging, which means about 1,000 Newton meters of torque, E for electric and 4 for four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. We also have parking sensors back here, and it's quite a more sleek design than your traditional gas Escalade. It just looks so outlandish back here with the rear wheel steering turned the opposite way. Huge thanks to Blazius Auto Group in Waterbury, Connecticut, and specific Blazius Cadillac for providing me with this very cool Escalade IQ. Let's get into the front trunk and see what that looks like next. So yes, the Escalade IQ does have a front trunk, and it's fully powered, and there's a really good amount of space under here, as you could imagine. Now, Cadillac even makes this cool accessory where it's kind of like a sliding tray that you can mount in there, and you can kind of pull all your cargo out. Very cool. There's cargo tie downs in here, and there's also some illumination, an emergency latch, and a 3-prong outlet for tailgating, which is pretty cool. Now, while we're under here, I figured if there is a good place, this will be it to talk about the powertrain. Now, first off, you can only get it in all-wheel drive, so it's a dual motor all-wheel drive setup, and it produces 750 horsepower and 785 pound-feet of torque in the VMAX mode. A little bit of specs about charging and the battery. The battery is a massive 200 kilowatt-hour capacity battery, and it'll get about 460 miles of range. Those are all massive numbers. Awesome range, huge battery pack, huge amount of power in this car, and you can charge really fast too. You can charge up to 350 kilowatts at a maximum charging speed, so that's pretty fast. Also, while we're back here, you can tow 8,000 pounds, which matches the towing capacity of the gas Escalade. Now, to close the front trunk down, all you need to do is tap the key fob button twice. You want to tap it for the first time once quickly, and just hold down the second time until it closes. How about we check out the rear trunk next? Trunk number 2 on the Escalade IQ. Of course, that is all powered as well. As you can see, it opens nice and wide. We have a huge opening, and there's tons of storage space. Now, there's a little bit less storage space since this vehicle does have the executive second row package, in case you're wondering. But you can't actually fold down the second row of seats, but you can power fold the third row of seats. So I'll show you how to do that now. As you can see, this side is power folded, and you know, obviously if you have both sides folded, you have plenty of storage space. You'll be hard pressed to find something you can't fit back there with the third row seats folded. But as far as amenities go back here, we have a 3-prong power outlet, illumination to either side, which is LED. We have cargo tie downs, a really nice sill tray with the Escalade IQ badging. And we also, again, have those toggles for the third row seats, and that will, again, power fold them up and down. So let's put that third row seat up. You can see it goes nice and fast up, and then you could just flip the headrest like so. Underneath the cargo floor, no extra storage, but we do find the window sticker. Now, I did have the detail guys clean this car up, and they mistakenly pulled the window sticker off, but I wanted you to see it so we could see all the options. We could see executive second row package, rear seat entertainment, and flare metallic. Brings us to a total of $160,610. Other things underneath that floor are the kind of cables for charging that come with the vehicle, so that's pretty nice. Once you're done in the cargo area, you could press that button and it'll close right on down. And this also has another cool feature where if you stand near the trunk for a couple seconds with the key fob on you, it'll actually open automatically. Let's check out the interior next. Okay, so let's check out this outrageous second and third row of seating. Now, as you can see, power doors. All you need to do is give a little tap behind the door handle and open we are. Camellia is the name of the interior, and it's this gorgeous kind of darker tan color. And we have this really cool wood trim on the back, which I took a picture of this car last night when it was a little bit darker so that you could see the ambient lighting. You can't really see the, I mean, I guess you could see a little bit in the light where the ambient lighting actually comes out, but take a look at that. Very neat with the ambient lighting. Materials back here are grade A, and this is also a completely animal-free interior. So everything you see here that looks like leather is synthetic leather. So we have beautiful stitching. And this leather, I mean, it looks so real, you couldn't even tell the difference, really. I thought it was real leather, but it is not. Now, we also have the choice between a few different speaker setups. All are AKG branded. Now, in the Sport 1 and Luxury 1 trim, you get 19 speakers, which is no joke. However, if you step it up to the Sport 2, Luxury 2, you get 36 speakers. However, since we have the executive rear seat package, it gives you 4 extra speakers, so 40 total speakers in this car. I don't think there's ever been another car with 40 total speakers. That's just insane. And you have, it looks like, at least 2 of them on the rear doors here. Now, if you kind of pull your door latch, that will close it up. And the doors also have soft close. And we have quite a bit of storage too. Lots of storage down below. And a beautiful design on this car. Now, since we have the executive second row seat package, there's not a really good way to get into third row seats. So we'll check out the second row, then we'll tackle the third row. But just take a look again, the design of the seats is beautiful. We have speakers in the headrest, the stitching, the piping on the side, the perforations. It's just a gorgeous and beautifully soft kind of simulated leather. Now, there is a little strap right here so that you could pull, and the seat will kind of fold forward manually, and then you could have some sort of chance at getting in. But the best way to get in is kind of power scoot the seat forward and then pull that little latch. So we'll do that in just a minute. But let's hop in and we'll power close our door here. And this might take a while to explain all the features back here, since again, we have the executive second row package. It's about a $7,500 option, as you saw on the window sticker. And just for a little bit of knowledge, the Escalade IQ will only come with bucket second row seats, whether you get the executive package or not. First things first, let's check out the screens. Now we have some giant infotainment screens where if you go to the home button right here, you can see you could search up a web browser, you have HDMI ports, and you can also see vehicle status. Pretty cool, so you can see how fast you're going, how much energy you're using, all that good stuff. Now we also have a screen here to hook up your speakers, and then we also have some settings within those screens too, so very, very nice. Up here, we have some illumination. We also have grab handles and some more speakers lining the headliner. The headliner is a very soft kind of Alcantara material, and we have this giant sunroof. However, it does not open, or and it also doesn't have a sunshade. Why they did this, I don't know, but at least it is very darkly tinted. Now, where do I even start down here? Let's start with the simple stuff. We have a map pocket on each side. We also have climate vents and cup holders back here, and 2 USB-Cs on either side of this little kind of control panel. Now, we could tackle this first, and we'll get the obvious out of the way in just a minute. So right here, there's a bunch of different screens you can control, and this is actually a very useful little screen here. Kind of controls everything back here besides the movies and things you're watching there. Now, here we are with a climate control. This car has a 5-zone climate control. So 1 separate zone, another separate zone, another separate zone, another separate zone, and the third row is another separate zone. So 5-zone climate control, which is why you see 2 separate zones for the rear and also an adjustment for the third row. But back here, basically you have your temperatures, fan speed, and then you can also sync everything together, and it's also automatic. We could press on this button here, which kind of directs your airflow, again, if you want it towards your head and body, or if you want it at your feet, and again, you can adjust that for the third row as well. We can also click the seat icon where things start to get crazy. These rear seats are fully powered. We can adjust the temperature with your heated or cooled functions here, which I think I'm going to turn my heated seats on a little bit. Now we can also adjust, as you can see, your temperature for the seat, and then you could go into massage. There's a bunch of different settings for massage, and you can also adjust the intensity, again, for both seats, left and right. And then you could also go over to position, which you can adjust tons and tons of things here. So you can adjust the back and forth of the seats. So this will kind of move it back and forward, just like kind of the front seats would do. And there are no actual physical controls for all the adjustments. However, they are all here. So we have the cushion tilt, and then we also have the backrest. We have other adjustments such as your shoulders, so we can plus and minus kind of the amount of padding you have on your shoulders. We also have four-way lumbar adjustment, and also an adjustment for your bolsters, so kind of hug and loosen your back bolsters. Super customizable seats. These are, you know, the rear seats in this car are probably more customizable than 90% of the cars on the road with their front seats. So that is just crazy. And we can go over to our phone screen, which, by the way, we do have wireless charging for both people back here. So these are two separate wireless charging pads. And then we also have a kind of controls button over here for your doors. You can open your doors back here. Remember, they are powered, and you can also lock and unlock. Go back to your controls. You can adjust the ambient lighting back here. Again, as you saw that kind of picture there before. Tons of different modes, styles, lighting, colors. And then we can also turn on and off your conversation enhancement. So if you're talking back here and you're trying to get your word out to the front passengers, they can't quite hear you, your voice will then kind of expand through the speakers to the front seats. Some amazing technology back here in this car. Seriously, probably the most advanced vehicle as far as technology goes that I have ever filmed. Definitely had to do a bit of research on this car before just hopping in. Now over here, if we lift up this center console here, we have some storage if you have our tables lifted out. So we kind of do this motion here, and we have these kind of airplane style tables where you can put your lunch or your laptop, and you can also move them back and forth, swivel them out. Very cool. You really only see this stuff in kind of the top luxury vehicles. Now it does take a little bit of maneuvering to put them back, but you know, once you have them out, you can see we have some storage back here, and you can close them up, and you can see what it looks like with the table folded out in this other seat. Now I think that pretty much covers the second row seats. Forgive me if I'm missing something. Actually, I am. Under here is fully open, so you can have some storage. There's also your HDMI ports and another 3-prong household outlet back there too. So I knew I was forgetting something. What do you say we get a quick look at the front here? And don't forget, we also have to check out the third row seats, so let's do that next. So, to gain entry into the third row seats of the Escalade IQ, it's not exactly practical for adults, definitely for children. Now, if you are going to be using the third row of the IQ, definitely still get the car, just don't get it with the executive rear seat package, because entry is a lot easier in that car without the executive package. Now, the second row seat is as forward as it possibly can be, and we don't have a lot of space to get in, so definitely for children. But once we're back here, the third row seats are beautiful with quality. There is nicely padded armrests. There's also some cup holders and USB-C ports, air vents, and lighting on the ceiling. What do you say we check out the front with all the technology next? Before we hop in, we'll check out the driver's door first. And as you can see, very nicely appointed, just like the back. We have that ultra smooth synthetic leather on the top and where your arm is going to rest. We have the beautiful stitching, bright work, kind of that glossed over wood with some ambient lighting in it. And all of your seating controls are up here too. Well, I should say most of your seating controls are up here. Now we have our kind of four-way lumbar and massage activation right here, your normal seat adjustments, two-person memory for both the front driver and the front passenger, as well as the second row seats because we have that executive package. And we also have the easy exit mode, heated and cooled seat adjustments right there too. We also have buttons down here for your mirrors, unlock and lock, and window controls, and a giant AKG speaker on your door, and a pretty good amount of storage down at the bottom too. On the left of the dash, we have another speaker. They really did stick speakers wherever they can find a place to. We have a little bit of wood, bright work, air vent, and we also have our powered steering column adjustment right there. A couple of controls here too for your electronic parking brake. You can manually lower and raise the air suspension. This also has the magnetic ride control. Then we can also open your front and rear trunks and adjust the kind of gauge dimmers. Down here, all really nice, kind of that leather material. Even all the way down here, we have our pedals, carpeted floor mats, and our Escalade IQ sill tray. Beautiful looking seats, just like out back. I want to say they couldn't even be the same seats as in the back because they have the same adjustments as up front. Again, very nice, soft, nice pattern to the seats. And let's get out of this windy, cold weather and hop in. Here goes the key for the IQ. We have a pretty traditional Cadillac key with the crest on the back, but if you flip it over, looks pretty similar to a Corvette key, and that's because they needed another button for the front trunk, and of course the Corvette does have a front trunk. So we have lock, unlock, remote start, or kind of preconditioning since this doesn't have a gasoline engine. We have the front and rear trunk release and a panic alarm. There's a little button to release a physical key in case you need it. But all you need to do to start is there's really no start button on this car. Just put your foot on the brake and everything will come to life. All 55 inches of screen. Now let's take a look at what's right in front of us, and that is our steering wheel. It's kind of this new two-spoke steering wheel with some bright work that goes along the bottom. Very futuristic yet classy looking. And we also have Super Cruise, of course. It comes standard on all Escalades, gas and electric, for 2025. So you kind of have the indicator lights up here. Now, as far as adjustments and controls on the steering wheel go, we have all of our adaptive cruise control here with our Super Cruise button, heated steering wheel, and the rest of your cruise control buttons down below, and a V button for the kind of VMAX mode that you can put this in, which unlocks all of the horsepower and torque available to you all at once. Now over here, we have a couple of adjustments for the screen right in front of us. Also audio controls as well as Bluetooth controls, skipping between different radio stations or tracks, and then you also have your voice commands. Now behind the steering wheel, we have one single paddle shifter on this side, and it's actually progressive. So take a look at this when I press it in. You can see it's not just a click in, and that is actually for your regen braking. Now we'll definitely test that out on our test drive. So if you're still with us, I know this is a very long video, make sure you check out that test drive video too. We'll definitely demonstrate that, but I do really like that feature. On the top of the steering column, we have these little sensors that pay attention to you, so you make sure you're paying attention while you're using Super Cruise. And at the back of the steering wheel, we have kind of a multi-function stalk for your turn signals, high beams, and all of your wipers front and rear. To the other side, we have our transmission selector, where we have the kind of park button at the end. We can pull towards us and down for drive, towards us and up for reverse, and we have tons of different camera settings, and we'll go through that in just a minute, but let's put it in park for now. Now let's kind of go through the screen that's right in front of us and kind of the driver's information display. There's a few different screens that you can adjust. So you can go to a gauge view that kind of looks like this. You can also go to Google Maps, which looks fantastic with this giant view here. We can also press in again or I should say press down and go to a driver's assistance screen, which kind of shows you your lane keep assist, all that good stuff. And then you can also go down to night vision. So night vision may not work. It may work because obviously it's not night out. But yes, this car does have night vision. There we go. So you can see night vision detection unavailable currently because it's not night out, but you can at least see the screen there. Very, very cool. Let's go back up to our gauge screen, since I'm assuming, this is probably the screen that most people will use. We have the speed limit with the current road that you're on right now, how much power you're using over here, digital speedometer, how much charge you have down there, and then also this 22 miles down there is just the odometer on the car. If you have a radio station playing, it'll adjust right, it'll show you right there. And that brings me up to here where we have a mostly kind of nice soft to the touch dash, but most of the upper dashboard looks like it's taken up by speakers, so you kind of have this sound bar look up here, and you also have a nice heads-up display. Now if we kind of accept and keep this car in demo mode for the first owner, we have our screen. Now let me see if I can adjust this car out of the light a little bit so we can see a little better. Okay, so I moved the car around to kind of the best position so that we could actually see the screen on camera. Now, the reason why it's kind of reflective and things of that of the sun is that the sunroof doesn't have a shade like I mentioned earlier, which I don't know why Cadillac did that, but that's the way they did it. However, on this portion of the screen is kind of like your infotainment setup. So you can use it as a touchscreen, but it's a little bit far away to use as a touchscreen. So you also have this kind of knob here and shortcuts to adjust it as well, but for now we'll just use it as a touchscreen so we can see quickly. You have quick commands down below for your home screen, which we're on right now, and we also have an alternative kind of home screen that'll display your Google Maps and your audio, which is pretty cool. If we go over to our music, you could see once we press on the Sirius XM, it's really nice looking with the audio playing. You can also set your presets. We can go over here to the Google Maps, which when you accept the privacy statements and all that good stuff, it'll appear with a nice Google Maps view. We also have our phone screen and kind of a charging screen as well. So if we go over there, we could see if we want to charge to 80%, you can, or you can also up it if you're going on a trip, and it'll show you how much range you'll have. So we kind of have like a charge now, charge later screen, which you can set schedules. That's pretty cool. And then you can also kind of do your scheduling right there, and there's some settings in there as well. Now a couple of other buttons down at the bottom there, we can turn the vehicle off with that button there. You just have to confirm. Then you can also keep the vehicle running with that kind of vehicle emblem with the timer, and it'll make sure the vehicle runs for you for 60 minutes. And then over here we also have your glove box release, which we could take a look in there. A pretty good amount of room in the glove box. It's kind of a square setup, so there's no weird bulges or anything, so you can stick some bigger things in nice and easy. And the last button over here will kind of toggle on and off your one pedal drive. Now let's go back to the home screen here, where we still have a couple of things that I want to show you guys, such as the driving modes. So we have kind of quite a few different driving modes here, which my mode you could adjust yourself, as you can see. You have the touring mode, sport mode, and once you're in sport mode, it'll kind of put everything to the sportiest setting except for the acceleration. Now if you want the most amount of acceleration, press this little VMAX button here, and you get this full power. Now you can also switch it over to snow and ice mode, which would not be a bad idea for today, and also the tow haul mode, since the towing package comes standard on your level 2 trim. So the Sport 2, Luxury 2 will come standard with the towing package. For now, we'll stick it in Tour, and we'll check out some other features. We have the My Cadillac app, Google related apps in there, and we also have the charging screen, which we saw before, and also the cameras. So we can kind of pull up the front camera here, as you can see, kind of nice wide angle, and then you can also see the top down. But you can also toggle to an overhead or a side camera, so the front wheels. And you can also get over to the rear view camera, a standard overhead or side, as we can see. Let's see if we could see the rear wheels turning. Yes, we can. That's pretty cool. And then we also have a dedicated hitch view as well. So if you're hooking up a trailer hitch, that'll be cool. We also have some trailering cameras and things like that. Now, I read up a little bit on this kind of camera system. There's some things that will be available with a later update, so not currently available, such as the interior camera, which is why this is kind of grayed out and you can't click on it. But there are some other settings in there, some other views which will become available as time goes on. We have Amazon Alexa built in, also your dedicated trailering app, which is pretty cool. You can create trailer profiles, do checks, things like that. We also have a bunch of different settings. Ambient lighting, which you can configure, which you kind of saw a little bit in the rear screen. We also have our automatic parking assist, which will automatically park the vehicle perpendicular and parallel, which is awesome. We have Wi-Fi, audio, your Google Maps, phone screen, and then you can also slightly customize your entertainment screens in the back. So that's pretty cool. Now that pretty much does it for this screen. We also have another screen on that side, which if you kind of double tap it, that is your passenger screen. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it is pretty similar to the touch screens in the back mounted to the seat. So we have kind of some shortcut buttons over here to connect headphones. This is kind of like their home screen, so you can pull up a web browser, connect to your HDMI. You also have vehicle status. And over here, in case you're wondering what that QR code is, you can actually scan that with your phone and control that screen with your phone, which is absolutely awesome. Such a great idea. But that is touchscreen. As you can see, once you come back over here, you really can't see what's playing, so it kind of has a privacy shade over it, so the driver doesn't get distracted while the passenger watches their movies. Very cool. Down here, you can see we have another kind of tablet-style screen closer to the driver with more commands that are more commonly used. So your climate control is all through here, which is nice. We have our temperatures, fan speed, automatic right over here. And actually put that down a little bit. It's getting a little bit warm in here. Surprised to say that on a 20 degree day. We also have some more adjustments for defrosters up top, recirculating sink and AC and heat. And we can also adjust the second and third row climate control. Again, keep in mind 5-zone climate control. This button right here will adjust where the air comes out, so defrosters, floor, and kind of your body. We also have some seat adjustments here for your temperature. You can also turn on your heated steering wheel right here to the screen if you wanted to. You can adjust your massage, so all the different massage functionalities. And you can also adjust a couple of the positions too for the seat. And there's a couple of things on here which are not on the kind of seat controls on the physical controllers, I should say. So basically, same functionalities as the rear seats, the kind of shoulder adjustments, lumbar, and the hugging in and loosening of the side bolsters. You can also adjust the passenger seat, of course, since the passenger doesn't really have physical controls for that. And you can also adjust the rear seats from up front, which is pretty cool. Now, if you press this down button here, actually, let's get into that in just a minute. Let's go to this controls panel here, where we have the powered locks and things like that, rear control lockout, child safety lockout, all that good stuff. And we also have some park settings, so you can pull up your cameras at any time, automatic parking assist, turn on and off your parking sensors, and also turn on and off your motion sensors for inside. Then we also have all of your door controls, including your charge port. So we could open up all 4 doors from right here, activate your child locks, deactivate your child locks, and then we can also open your glove box from here, unlock the doors, and again, your charging port. So that's pretty cool. Over here, we have all of our headlight adjustments. So turning them on and off, or kind of putting them on auto. We also have, we can turn on and off our lane keeping assist, and then also access all of our cameras right over here. And that will pop them up right there. Now there is one adjustment too that I wanted to show you. There's kind of a pull down screen from the top here. Some more quick buttons that you can turn on and off, you know, some repetitive controls like as you can see, or also turning on and off your interior lighting, pulling up your cameras again, activating your automatic high beams, and all that good stuff. A couple of other things, opening up your charge door, and also putting this car into the normal rear steering adjustment, or toggling the arrival mode. So that's pretty cool. So lots of good stuff in this screen. Again, a lot easier to touch than that screen up there because it's a little bit farther away. We also have your trailer brake controller right over here. Nice and easy to adjust right here. Quick access from the steering wheel. Some adjustments again for your upper screen with some presets, and the smaller knob is your audio volume. We have 2 wireless charging pads for up front too, so that gives you a total of 4 wireless charging pads in this vehicle. We have a couple of cup holders here too, and a little party trick. You can actually put the center portion of the cup holders down in case you have a mug with a lid, and then press that little button to bring it back up. Very nice soft center console that kind of lifts up like so. Not as big as the regular Escalade as far as center console size, but it's still very, very big. We have 3 USB-C connections, a 12 volt and another HDMI port in there. So very, very nice use of space. Overall, there's a ton of storage. Even under here, I forgot to mention, there's a huge amount of space since there's no kind of transmission lever going through down into the vehicle. You saw the glove box before. Let's take a quick look at the passenger seat, which again is fully powered and is also has 2-way lumbar. Up top, again, very nice soft suede type of material. Our visors have some pretty huge mirrors and lights once you fold them down, and not a whole lot going on up here for your top console. Again, we have that camera that will be available to, I guess, keep an eye on your rear seat passengers, or maybe to take selfies in a future update. So again, not working currently, but as a future GM update it will. And we also have our kind of emergency and SOS OnStar buttons, and your hazards are up here too. One final cool thing is your rear view camera mirror. It's becoming more and more popular with a lot of vehicles. This one has it. You can toggle it on and off in case you have the third row seats up. And there's also some adjustments for brightness, also zooming, and up and down. And we'll take a quick look at the blind spots of the vehicle, which they're not too bad except for this area here. Which I suppose your blind spot warning, and there's also like a kind of like a blind spot camera, which if you have the setting on, you turn your turn signal on, it'll get you a view out there. So given those 2 items, which is very nice, I guess the kind of lack of seeing back there is kind of forgiven for that. And straight out the back, not a huge window, but again, you have that rear view camera mirror. Now finally, again, this has been a very, very long video, but there's so many features in this car. I didn't want to let anything get untouched or unseen. So if you have, lasted this long in the video, I thank you very much for watching, and hope you pay attention to our test drive, which there should be a link popping up right about here, right about now. This has definitely been one of the coolest and neatest cars I've ever reviewed. And definitely make sure you stick with us here on Ty Drives for future videos. Thanks again for watching.